Welcome everyone to Târgu Jiu. It's a pleasure for us to have you all here. And yes, today we are running this workshop on cybersecurity and digital sovereignty. And this is an interesting topic for me, especially with the advent of artificial intelligence and mass usage of artificial intelligence. So I think we had quite a few talks today on the importance of cybersecurity. Before we start our discussion, maybe you should introduce yourself and tell our public a little bit who you are, where you come from, and we'll go then into... So Jugoslav, please.
Okay. Thank you, Cătălin, for this short introduction. My name is Jugoslav Achkoski. I'm professor of computer science, and I'm coming from Macedonia. Currently, I'm employed at Military Academy, General Mihailo Apostolski, which is associate member of the Goce Delcev University.
That's great. Robert?
My name is Robert Maxwell. I run the Global Cybersecurity undergraduate degree in University of Francisco de Vitoria in Madrid, Spain. And our focus is this new world of cyber.
Great. And Tochi?
Okay, my name is Târgu Jiu. Actually, I'm a PhD researcher. I'm working with Carinthia University of Applied Sciences, and I work with a research group known as AMAVIS, and we work on different projects with respect to cyber physical systems and also additive manufacturing technologies.
Okay, great. So very diverse backgrounds in a way, but all of them touching cybersecurity. So maybe the question to ask is, what do you think are from each of your individual perspective, because you will have all different perspectives, which are the main vulnerabilities in terms of cybersecurity in the European, in the world landscape? Yugoslav, let's start again in the same order.
Okay, I would like to say that currently in the moment we have artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So we could say that artificial intelligence is one kind of weapon,
okay,
but on the another side, it is a solution of the problem.
Okay, so it's a tool. I guess depends how you use it, right?
Yes, it is vice versa. If it is in the hands of the people that are wanted to use criminals, then we have a problem.
Yes.
However, we need to protect society, protect our lives, protect digital sovereignty.
Of course, yeah. And when you say protect from AI is not really, it's a tool, right? So what do you mean by, can you maybe pinpoint it a bit more? What would be this protection look like? I mean,
yes, we developed algorithms for detecting the threats. Also, criminals make algorithms how to use to make penetration in our system using AI.
Okay.
It is as I said, it is vice versa.
It's also
approach.
Yeah. Guys, Robert, Tochi, what do you think?
Okay, actually, with respect to cybersecurity, part of the problem I see is in the aspect of data, and then a lot of data are being emitted on daily basis from different sources. This could be from sensors and then from individual user digital devices. And these are different sources of data. And on daily basis, these data are being produced. But how these data are used becomes a problem.
Down the line by the artificial intelligence, yeah.
And so there should be some certain regulations in terms of the management of this data. In as much as data is concerned, data is the oil industry of the 21st century. It's no longer oil. Data is the oil, because there is nothing we do without data. And if it is not properly managed, it can become a threat in the hand of the wrong people. They can use it as a weapon against the masses.
And if I may add, actually, with this AI, I think we also, because we had data, we always had data, but now we have a very special way to work with this data, right? Because this is what AI is doing, correct me if I'm wrong, it's actually using the data to speak to us. So there is a translation to this data in a way, right? Because you can access this data in a way that you've never been able to access the data by using, or Robert would.
Well, I think there are a number of things here. First of all, the challenges. Where we are in a new era where data is everything. Problem is, data knows no frontiers. There are no geographical frontiers for data. Secondly, it's a global language. It might be a different programming language, but data is data is data. So I can understand your data here in Romania, I can understand data in China, I can understand wherever the data comes from. AI is a massively important tool, but we've got the issue that it's a double-edged sword. Okay, so if I can, given that there are no frontiers, given that if I can infiltrate your system and your data, I can poison your data, I can steal your data, I can do whatever I want. The only way that I can defend myself, not very successfully, is using AI. But who has the better budgets? Who is more focused? The most focused people are cyber criminals or governments trying to infiltrate and steal. A multinational trying to defend itself, or a small, medium-sized enterprise has no chance. And this is the challenge we have. And at the same time, AI has only just begun. Yes, it began 60 years ago, but now the curve is going vertical. And therefore we need, we're very good in Europe at regulating, but we've got to build. And we've got to build fast. And we have the talent to do it. We just need to focus.
Do you think our meeting today within the ACE²-EU Alliance has any potential role in this building? Do you see a pathway to there? What do you guys think for that? I think we do, because that's what we are doing here. We are trying to express all these issues and trying to form working groups to address some of those. Actually, I have another thought, which is a bit sounded to me quite controversial. One of our colleagues said in the meeting, I asked him, what is the biggest vulnerability of the cybersecurity system? And he answered me, it's the human being. First, I said he's crazy. But then I thought a bit more. And I thought maybe he's right, because with this AI, we are profiling everyone by the questions they are asking. Anyway, I don't want to speak to him. I wanted to ask, what's your opinion on that? Is the human being the biggest vulnerability of the artificial intelligence revolution? And then how do we secure the human being? How do we, I don't know, what are your thoughts on this? It's I don't know.
Okay, I would like to say here a few words, if you let me to say.
Of course,
that,
of course.
Yes, the weakest point in the chain of protection or security, cybersecurity, is the person.
You agree with that?
Yes, human. But, however, nowadays we are witnesses that passwords could be broken in very short time. On the other side, biometrics is one of the solutions that is already implemented in systems for cybersecurity in terms of authentication and authorizations of the persons. However, also the person, on one way, if we are properly use biometric and implementation of the biometric, it's going to be one of the solutions for authentication of the.
So you think, I'm repeating what you're saying, you think that biometrics is the solution to possible solution
because
to the cybersecurity?
Yes, because also biometrics also has weaknesses, and And there is a lot of research paper that are published where the biometric was broken.
Yeah.
On some way.
Yeah.
Yes. Therefore, I'm saying it is one of the solutions,
not the full solution.
Not the full solution. But however, if we are, yes, we see the multi-factor authentication that exists nowadays because the password already doesn't work. We have a lot of research published that for how many, what is the time, 8 character or 12 character password is going to be broken.
Okay, interesting.
But then you've got at least one government doing whatever it can to get biometric information on everyone. It's called TikTok. So what TikTok does, what TikTok does is it takes your face at the age of 15, 18, it can evolve that into what you'll look like at the age of 45 when you are the head of security of whatever multinational. And the latest games on TikTok where they give you is, okay, now we want to look at your eye. Once they've got your retina, they know who you are. You've got a username, you're on TikTok. All of that data is going back to China. Sorry if I'm being politically incorrect. But, the issue that we've got is we're coming up to quantum computing becoming a reality. They can break every code that there is. What security can we do? Well, we go for biometrics because every single eye is utterly individual. But if someone's making a game of it and saying, you're a 15-year-old girl, you don't know what the future holds for you. But if I've got your retina, it doesn't matter who I've got access into every system. So the whole thing about AI is we're at the beginning of the acceleration. We've got 3 major technologies going in parallel. We know from history that means there's an accelerator effect. So we've got AI and machine learning, we've got quantum coming in, we've got 6G coming in, and the real problem that we've got is that this is all going to change so fast and so quickly that not one university by itself or one country by itself is not enough. Here we are in Europe, where we're brilliant at regulating. We have no pan-European AI system. We've regulated the Americans, we've regulated the Chinese, all of that sort of thing. But we need our own systems, and we've got to start coming together to work out what is needed, prioritize it, and get on, because there's a silent or invisible war going on, and it's system versus system. You can't see it, you can't hear it. Might kill people in hospitals or whatever, but the issue is the technology is moving so fast. And one thing I believe very seriously is that in Europe, we have the ability. We've just got to start finding the people and bringing them together. And whilst we all think in terms of frontiers, Spain, Montenegro, Austria, Switzerland, Romania, we can't think like that anymore. There are no frontiers. We've got a major challenge. We need to get on with it.
Okay, great, thanks. Yeah. So, 2 things. One is coming together, right? What we are doing through the Alliance. And the other one, which was quite shocking for me, is that actually we haven't seen everything. we haven't seen it all. That's what you are telling me.
And we're not being told everything either.
Well, that's normal, right?
And also, with respect to the issue of the biometrics, I don't think it is the solution with respect to the advanced technologies in artificial intelligence, because there are different researches that has been conducted on different data with respect to biometrics, and these models were able to predict accurately the biometrics of people. So even in banking, it's a threat because biometrics are used in banking, but artificial intelligence is now a threat to banking with respect to biometrics because there are models definitely that can decrypt people's biometrics through predictive analytics. So it's not the solution, just like what Professor Peter talked about. Part of it will be quantum encryption. And this is where different countries are investing in quantum computing at the very moment, because this is the solution. Because once there are frontiers that can develop a lot of projects on that, definitely with quantum computing is in just a split seconds it decrypts any type of encryption technologies that you use on different things. So that is part of the thing I think that different alliances and consortiums should be looking into, and especially within European. Like in these alliances, we have dictated cybersecurity is a threat, actually, not just only to us, but to generations that are coming. People's digital footprints are everywhere. And what are all these organizations harnessing this data for? That is the most important thing. Everything requires data. Before you sign up this, they will ask you do this. Their data. What are they doing with all these data? Data can be sold. So this time around, we now have data as a service. So before we have infrastructure as a service, software as a service, but now data as a service, because data can be used for different projects, for different things.
Sure, data is important. We don't know how much is collected, how much is stored, how is stored. And I guess that's something, because we can't really, I mean, I'll be a bit on the defensive side now. You can't really accuse, but we would need to know what happens right at the other end. And I think that's something, would you agree with that? That's something important, that we would need to know what happens to the data that we send to the AI models. We will need to, or we will know, Robert is smiling. So
No, I'm just thinking,
that we will never know.
look at the four big powers.
Powers, yeah.
Okay?
In AI, you mean.
In globally.
Globally, okay.
So in the US, there's little or no data protection. It's open.
I didn't know that.
Okay. In China, the government owns all of the data everywhere and steals what data it can. In Russia, it's total control. In Europe, we regulate the use of data, but we're a long way behind protecting the data we have. So it's we're almost crippling ourselves because on the one hand we regulate, we're very good at that. On the other side, we don't really protect very well. We tell people they can get a fine or go to prison for doing X, Y, Z, but we don't protect. Whereas our big competitors, specifically China and the US, one has totally totalitarian control of all data, and the other just sort of says, you do whatever you like. And we're in the middle. And it's not a good place to be. I'm not saying we should do one or the other, but we need, if we're going to be the region, the superpower or whatever, that says data is sacred, you've got to protect data, then we need to up the technological game significantly. Because what is coming, we know we've got quantum coming, what, 3 years away, 5 years away. We've got next, you know, we're at only the beginning of AI development. And all of this is coming very fast. And does the next generation, do our children actually understand what this implies? Do we understand? And the answer is not really.
No.
Okay. But well, I'm not sure how far we are down the line with the timing, but one question that comes to my mind, how can you protect data that goes outside? But this is intrinsic to the data.
Yeah.
So once you've given it, you can't protect it anymore.
No.
Once I speak to you and I tell you something about myself, that's your information, it's not my information anymore. So maybe through education would be one solution, so that we have to teach our our the citizens of the European Union, the importance of data. What you are doing actually with your bachelor degrees, right? I mean, I let you. Yeah. What do you think? I mean, what other ways we have to protect it?
There is a not, let's say, something that we need to invent.
Okay.
Not invent the wheel, because the wheel exists.
Oh, really?
What
Okay.
does it mean? Actually, it means that, as we have done previously, we need to do it the same. Increasing awareness regarding cyber security, regarding data, regarding because if the people are educated, if citizens are educated, if the companies are educated, if all entities connected with cybersecurity are educated, are well trained, they are going to have conscious. They will be conscious about
Their data,
cybersecurity vulnerabilities, data, sharing the data, because we have citizens that share their diagnosis.
Yeah.
They scan, put it in ChatGPT, and to see whether the doctor tells them the truth or not.
So
we have enormous usage of artificial intelligence, exposing our data to different models. It is DeepSeek, ChatGPT, whenever those models come, and we are exposing our privacy to the artificial intelligence.
Are we reaching the conclusion that education is stronger than quantum computing and artificial intelligence?
Actually, with respect to awareness, I think it's very important that this is incorporated in educational system, data literacy, and part of it should be also citizens' data literacy. It should be a part of a curriculum where citizens can also be educated on the power of data. Okay. That data is like their blood, and life is in the blood. Yeah. And how they use their data, especially in this 21st century, will actually either make their future or mar their future. So they should know where they also provide their digital footprint and what they do with it. And government also should play a critical role with respect to this in terms of policy, because they need to enforce it. And then within also the entire ecosystem in manufacturing, in IT and so on, because these are also source of data. When users are registering online, they are supplying their data, and what they are doing with this data, even the user doesn't know anything about it. So a lot of things need to be implemented with respect to policy, and this is not just from the institution but from the government level on this. So once the citizens, especially the young people, the youths, are aware of this, it will give them more knowledge on what they do with their data, because once it's gone, you can't retrieve it. And what the person uses it for is you can't also, and this is applicable with also how we use all this artificial intelligence, because once we are trying to create a prompt and you feed some certain database from your organization into the model, you've already supplied it to the people that created it in their server. And then what they use those things for, even though you get some answer that may also be hallucinated, but you don't know what they also do with that. They are using it to train also more models, because in fact it's part of their policy. Most of all these generative models, when you look at their policies, they now have a new terms and conditions that as you are supplying your data and different things, they're also using the data you supply to train more models.
Okay, but Robert, you wanted to...
I was just going to add one thing on the education issue.
Yeah.
So, who educates the teenager first?
Good question.
The family?
Yeah.
The school? Or TikTok?
It should be the family.
Well, it's not.
But TikTok.
It's TikTok.
Yeah.
And that is the technology.
Do we have data on this?
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing about separating TikTok American from TikTok the rest of the world was that the Americans didn't want all of their young next generation data going across to China. Okay, that's the reality of that move. So where is, I mean, you look at the statistics, and they're from the Pew Research Institute, so they're pretty good. North America, sources of news. What is the most used source for daily news in the United States of America? Facebook.
Social media.
And you sort of go, come on guys, really? It's not ABC or NBC or CNN? No, it's Facebook. It's a platform that can be manipulated. And
but NBC and CNN can also be slightly manipulated.
Yeah, and absolutely. But they no longer have the reach of a Facebook. Yeah. They don't have the reach. And so
the truth is in the people.
Well, the truth is, no, what we need to start doing is we really need to start working. If in Europe we believe in the talent of our people, we need to get into the schools at high school age, at 12, 14, and we need to start working on finding the talent, because that's where you find it at that age, but also really educating people as to what they are doing. So now we have, 3 countries in the UK banning the use of social media before the age of 12 or whatever. I mean, let's see if it works. But the reality is that social media is not good for the brain development. I mean, I see it in the university. My students of cybersecurity, how many books do they read a year? You're very lucky if it's 1 or 2. And the majority don't read at all. And you say, well, what are you doing? Are you watching a series? No, they're hooked. The dopamine or whatever it is hooking them on very short-term return. I get an instant answer from ChatGPT. I get an instant satisfaction from whatever.
Okay, I'll interrupt slightly here. So I understood. So education is a strong part. Coming together is another part in Europe. What else? What else do we do? So coming together and educate the society. What else do we do to fight the new wave of?
I think we've got to be focused. I think we need focus. And one of the great things of 9 universities coming together and having workshops like this is a decision process of, okay, this is what I do. Oh, that guy does this. This guy does. That's very interesting. He or she can give me more strength on my focus area, or because I'm only one and I need some other partners. And you know, it's realistic focus. It's the reality of what is happening today to our own people, and you know, we need to defend ourselves.
So understanding reality is the other one.
Oh, yeah.
In a
crude
proper,
reality.
The crude reality. What is and then focus. Focus being action. Yeah. Right. You need to move. You need to do something. Jugoslav, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I would like to say that beside that, you said that we need to we need to dedicate to the education, and as Peter said, to be focused. Also, we need to have more groups like this one, like this workshop that is already organized by the Alliance, and to have a more research, more because with the research we are going to have more information, more information, and we will have more better tools.
Okay. Is it also
and also building systems that can also protect these threats are also very important. Just like the presentation from Hugo, where he presented a layer. And this layer is very, very important with respect to prevention of threat. So in as much as there is also threat, we should also invest in building a system that can also prevent that. And this is where funding, research, and alliances coming together.
Come together,
and then everybody getting focused on their own specialization with respect to this, because I think together everyone accomplishes more, and this is what the alliance is all about. So,
do you think, maybe coming on this alliance, do we think that compared to America, China, in Europe, do we lack critical mass? Because in Europe, in the end, we are now coming together as European Union in a way, right? That's what we want to do, and that's what I think we are advocating in a way. But because we have a series of countries, none of them will have the critical mass of 300 million people backing it. Do you think this is a problem for making these big discoveries? And do you think European Union, I don't know, what do you think about this? Because I always see it in a bit on that way. We are small, so we are divided, so it's hard for us to, we shouldn't be divided.
I believe I have another opinion about it.
Okay, yes, please.
And I would like to compare. For example, Europe has a 500,000
so we don't lack
citizens.
Critical mass.
We have, USA is 300.
300, yeah.
Yes. Okay, China is, let's say.
Okay, 1 billion, but it's still on the same scale.
But however, Europe is, if you compare, Europe has more capacity in terms of investments, in terms of funds, in terms of people and mass, as you said, critical mass.
Critical mass, okay.
And based on it, I think, I believe actually that it is high time Europe to take action and to show that to show the capacity.
The capacity, the potential is there. We just need to take it and develop it.
And no one in Europe couldn't stay as an island and to work alone.
Okay,
because this is because technology. It is something that is not it is not focused on only one thing, or it is not focused on only one country. It is focused. Technology is used massively, and it should be the response should be also together.
Okay.
I think also with respect to what you said, one of the problems Europe has is bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy
is terrible, and it hinders growth. Like I was discussing with Peter when we were going for lunch, so the US is innovating. Go to Silicon Valley, a lot of technologies, a lot of things. They build technologies, innovate. And China, yes, they still, but they scale it up. Once they discover they want to scale it up, by all means. But what does Europe do? Regulation, policy.
I think, I mean, in advocacy for Europe, I think regulation has its own benefit. Now, depending on which scale, I think regulation is not bad as such. We need to, because we are different, so we need to come together in a framework.
Bureaucracy is very, very slow. It affects even SMEs.
It stops the process.
To start up,
but still, I think things are moving, because I don't want to, I mean it really. I think things are moving. We have this alliance, we have several other alliances running. Europe is doing, I think, many benefits. I mean, I will speak about my country, Romania. Europe has done great things for Romania. Romania is in a very good position today, and it wouldn't be here without Europe, without the others coming together. So I wouldn't want to finish the discussion on saying that Europe is bureaucratic and that's it, we can't do it. I think we can do it. I think we have done it, Robert.
I think I would sum it up by saying, in Europe we have the appetite, we have the history, we have the knowledge, and now, in these years, we have a golden opportunity. Because who is going to go from Europe to work in China? Some people might for money.
Yeah.
Who in America is going to stay there if they are not a certain type of American? So America is going to start seeing a brain drain. And they're not going to cross the Pacific to China, but they might come to Europe. And that's, you know, we've got to be smart, and we've got to be aggressive. We can't be passive. We can't be, you know, otherwise Europe will be a museum. It'll be like Disneyland, but far more boring. You know, we've got to be aggressive, get out there, bring in the talent, focus on what needs to be done. And I tell you, the young Europeans are fabulous. They are a match for anyone out there.
That's right, yeah.
So let's give them things to do.
Good, thank you, Robert. Tochi, last 3 sentences.
Yeah, I agree with him. This is a golden opportunity for Europe, especially with the advent of things we see from US and their policy. So this is opportunity for Europeans to also develop their own talent, so that China already have seen it, and they are also working towards taking people from also Europe with different appetizing opportunities, but Europe can seize this opportunity to build internally and scale up.
Good, that's great, thank you. And Yugoslav?
Yes, Europe needs to take the responsibility to work on its defense. And actually for the cybersecurity, nobody is coming to protect the citizens, countries that are part of the Europe. And as I said, Europe needs to increase a pace just to take the pace with other developed, actually USA, China.
Yes, yes, that one. Okay, great. Thank you very much, everyone. It was a real pleasure to discuss. We started a bit slow, but I really enjoyed it at the end.
Thank you.
Thank you.